India is often dubbed the pharmacy of the world, but that image now may be tarnished. At least 69 Gambian children have died of kidney failure during the past few months, prompting investigations and a police inquiry into an Indian drug company, Maiden Pharmaceuticals, and a US-based importer, Atlantic Pharmaceuticals. Investigations suggest that the children may have died due to contaminated cold and cough syrups. International health experts are unnerved, and the World Health Organization has issued a global alert.
The loss of these young lives is beyond heartbreaking for their families. WHO recommends all countries detect and remove these products from circulation to prevent further harm to patients.
In July, Gambia was battling its most severe flooding in years, causing sewers to overflow. Around this time, several children reportedly died due to severe kidney disease. Upon investigation, traces of E. coli bacteria were found in the stools of many of the children, many of whom had taken paracetamol syrup. Authorities say the children fell ill 3 to 5 days after ingesting the syrup that was sold locally, and that it is most probably the paracetamol and the promethazine syrups that caused the acute kidney injury cases in this outbreak. By August, the number of casualties rose to 28, and now the death toll has risen to 69. The deaths have sent shockwaves across the tiny West African country of 2.4 million people. Authorities are under fire for not running tests on the imported medicines, which are mostly sold over the counter. An urgent door-to-door campaign has been launched to remove the toxic cough and cold syrups blamed for the deaths. India's Central Drugs Standard Control Organization insists that the exports were limited to Gambia, but the WHO fears that the contaminated products may have been distributed to other countries through informal or unregulated markets. The medicines under scrutiny have been identified as promethazine oral solution, Coffexmelon baby cough syrup, Macof baby cough syrup, and Migribin cold syrup. Laboratory testing of these medicines found unacceptable levels of diethylene glycol and ethylene glycol in them. Diethylene glycol and ethylene glycol are odorless, colorless, viscous liquids with a sweet taste and generally used in industrial products such as resinings, paints, brake fluids, and antifreeze. They are also often found as contaminants in glycerin, which is used as a solvent and a sweetener in many oral syrups. Some drug companies have also been accused of using DEG as a diluent in syrups to save money in place of costlier medicinal glycerin. But when used in excess, they can be deadly. The toxic effects include the inability to pass urine, abdominal pain, vomiting, diarrhea, altered mental states, and acute kidney injury. That's what happened to the children in Gambia who suffered from kidney failure and died within a few days. Maiden Pharma launched its operations in November 1990, but it has been a repeat offender and in the dock for exporting substandard drugs. The company also faced a ban in the Indian state of Bihar and was penalized for selling substandard products elsewhere. It is among 66 drug makers that Vietnam is blacklisted. India's pharma industry is worth roughly $42 billion, and to stay ahead globally, quality control is key. Weak quality control at the manufacturing plants where the drug is made is usually what leads to contamination. India is among the largest suppliers of generic drugs to developing countries. But in recent years, the industry has been at the heart of multiple manufacturing scandals and has faced bans and criticism due to its production of subpar drugs and products. The U.S. trade representatives say that nearly 20% of drugs sold in India are fake. While Maiden says it's shocked over the incident, Indian authorities have halted production of cough syrup at the factory where they found 12 violations of good practices. Given Maiden Pharmaceuticals' history, why was it even allowed to continue its operations?